Baicang is one of the most complex characters in NTE, but he's also really strong if you play him correctly. So let's go over his kit. For his basic attack, the only thing you really want to know is that you can stack the green kanji-like symbols on the enemy, for that you can hold shift or left click. There's also a red kanji, but I believe you need to press his skill, and with that, let's go over his skill. On his skill, Generous Guidance, you have two options. One is Silence Dot, and that will be your single target damage skill. And the second version of his skill, Such Crime, is the AoE version of his skill. So to do each one, you need to press his skill once, and then for the single target version, you need to dodge to be able to proc the single target version. And for the AoE one, you need to trigger the kanji with his basic attack. Now for his ultimate, Judgment of Autumn, he can execute targets below 10% and for bosses that are under 5%. He will also be immune to one fail hit during his ultimate, so if you get that fail hit and you would die, his ult will end in 3 seconds. Also, when Silent is triggered in his domain, it will deal high single target damage, and that is the same for his AoE skill, Objurgate. He will also lose HP but also heal himself in his ultimate with his blasting mechanic that triggers after 3 basic attacks on his domain. His intro skill, Break Time Over, deals 1 instance of incantation damage and generates 1 power word silence on the target. His first passive, Moderate Mischief, is his Scorch enhancement. When a power word is generated on a target affected by Scorch, it will inflict another instant of Scorch. For his second passive, it is his Moderate Working passive, that is around ETD 4 units. But to be honest, as of right now, a team around those characters isn't really good or better than the team I'm gonna show you later. I do believe that till Lacrimosa is out, you shouldn't really pay attention to his passive at all, but that is only my guess, and if I'm wrong, please correct me in the comments. Okay, let's first talk about his rotation and what you need to know to play him the correct way. The most important thing for him is to actually stack his kanji-like mechanic before you go into his ultimate. And also, this team is really strong because you will proc a lot of Scorch really consistently, and that is the one thing that is important for him. So let's start with going into Sakari, and we're just gonna ult. Press E, go into Daffodil. You could technically ult an E. I think it doesn't matter too much. E, then you go into him. Alright, you see all above on this boss, you see the kanjis. So, bam bam, then you ult, and now you can see the damage, 71k on 0 dupes. That is pretty good. So, yeah, I think he is really strong, honestly. And he's also rather simple to play. Yeah, and you see those red kanjis on the floor. Those will detonate once you press his ultimate. Just to showcase it a little bit slower and better, you want to stack his kanji abilities, right? You get 1 kanji here, 1 here, and then it's kind of up to you, honestly. You could do this and then be with 3 green kanjis, or you could also get a green one. And if you have 3 kanjis, they will go away after some time if you don't do something. So the moment you have 3 kanjis, you want to ult to deal the maximum damage, because once you ult and the enemy has kanjis, they will explode. So you could do just basic attacks and then press shift. Let's do boot, and then you see 3 kanjis, and if you ult now, you will see a lot of damage, 30k. You see a lot of healing, and basically that is it on how to play him. If you have his 1 dupe, you will be able to get 3 green kanjis and 1 red one, and that will be a really strong one. But you could also do is you could get his AoE attack, right? And then have 1 kanji on the floor and 2 on him. and then you're just gonna ult, and basically that is the only really thing you need to know when you play him to actually make use of his kanjis. Just a quick reminder, don't forget to like and follow, it means a lot to me, but let's go on with the video. Now let's go over his build. For his weapon, you want to play Kamala Society, and there's no other option for him because it is his signature weapon and you can get it for free. When you fight the flower boss, you will get that arc weapon. And yeah, it's really good. It is around his mechanics, right? For his build, you want to play the incantation set. You could also run the attack set, but I don't think that is better than the incantation set. And obviously for the main set, you want to have incantation damage bonus. You could technically go with a crit damage one, but incantation is always better. But you know, maybe there's some room for crit damage if you don't have a good incantation damage one. For his mud shields, you want to have one of those 4 to get the full set passive effect, but also keep in mind that for each type 3 mud shield, he will get a 7.5 crit rate bonus. So try to slot in as much type 3 mud shields as possible, and this will be the best placement. For his subset, try to get the classic ones. Damage percentage, crit rate, crit damage, focus on crit, try to get as much crit as possible. And then attack percentage is really good. And I think something like cycle intensity or break intensity is also okay. Now for his dupe. Does he need dupes? No, you just saw a 70k nuke. Of course, it was on his boss, but without any dupes. I think White Aspect, the crit rate buff during his ultimate is really strong. But I do think increased power word generation limit to 4 is really strong. That will also change a little bit on how to play him, because you want to have 3 green kanjis and 1 red one. But that is for his ultimate. Soul Caller, I think, is also pretty valid. So yeah, his dupes are really strong. I think Yo Captain is also a good one. I think White Aspect and also Curses Spoken into Being, those 2 are the best dupes. For his skill upgrade priority, you want to prioritize ultimate, skill, passive 1, basic attack, and then support skill. For his second passive, you should get it because increases Baicangs attack by 20%. It's pretty good, but I think focus on his first one first. Let's go over his teams. To be honest, you have 2 options to play a Baicang team. One is fully around the Scorch reaction, and it's probably his best team, since you do have the increased DOT taken by the target from Sakari. You get Baicangs enhanced one. Also, you have Daffodil, which is just in general a really great character against bosses. You have Atla as a shielder, also Baicangs ultimate. You have the grouping from Sakari. So yeah, this team is pretty good, but let's say you don't have Daffodil, for example. What can you run other than this team? I think this team is also runnable on Baicang. It's probably not as strong as the first one because you don't have Scorch, but I think if you have a strong Nunnally, it can work pretty well. And don't forget, we don't really have any endgame content yet other than the Abyss-like tower thing. And yeah, on this team, you obviously want to have Hexed up all the time. And then Nunnally and Baicang are the primarily damage dealers. Sakari is here for the attack buff and the AoE grouping. And Xingwan is here for another hexed option, but also for a good amount of damage and healing if you have her first dupe. But do keep in mind that in a team around Scorch, Esper Cycle will be stronger than this team, but I think it's great if you like Nunnally and Baicang and you can actually run this team. Yeah, that's it with the Baicang guide. Let me know if you didn't understand something. I will help you out in the comments. And then thanks a lot for watching. Take care and see you guys in the next one.